Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie and you are catching me in a rare occasion. The cats are here, so that's not rare. However, what is rare is the no makeup face. So what we're doing today is a little different. I don't do reading vlogs on my channel very often, but I figured why start? Why not start? Why not? I mean, if it fails, it's only myself to blame. But behind me is a new kind of background that you guys don't see. I usually am over there in front of like my kind of like TV, romance, piles of books. But here behind me is my YA shelf. And I took a video beforehand to kind of explain it to you. So I'm going to insert that now. Okay, y'all. So when I tell you that in videos, I have a whole shelf full of just YA books, I wanted to show you actually that I'm not lying. So here's the shelf that you can never see behind me. This is on the other side of my room. So these are all completely just YA books. YA, and then down here you get to like, well, those over there you can't see, but those are all, oh Lord, Throne of Glass. That's the whole Throne of Glass series. So yeah, those are, oh, that's Britney Spears Monopoly, because why not? Because she's amazing, so just let it go. But, so these are all the books that I have to eventually get rid of and do something. I need room. I have a lot of books just hanging out in piles that could be put on the shelf. So we're going to do this try chapter. We're going to pick 5 books off the shelf, none that are in series because I'm not doing that to myself right now. But we're going to pick 5. We're just going to see what happens. If I don't like any of them, that's great. 5 I can get rid of. If, something catches my eye, well then we'll just have to deal with that when the time comes. But, so I just want to give you like an overview of kind of what I'm working with here. I do have another well, that's not really YA though. It's like thriller. So we're not going to do with this. But this is what I'm working with. This is what I need to get dwindled down to like half. Like if I could just do maybe like the top two could be YA and the rest could be my romances. But I'd like to get everything. So we're going to, this is hard. This is going to be hard. But we're just going to try it. We're just going to see how it goes. So basically what I need to do is to shrink the amount of YA books that I have. I have far too many piles of, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 piles of romance books that have no home. I mean, they have a home. They're here. They're my babies. But they have no place to call their own. And I need to get rid of these so I can put those on here and do like a proper shelf tour, bookshelf tour and all that for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 books at random, because it's not really random, I'm picking them. But we're going to pick 5 books, try a chapter, see if I am even interested in them. If not, they can just go. If I am interested, then I'm giving myself to like the end of the year to read them. And you're going to keep me accountable. And if I have not read them by the end of the year, you're going to be like, Katie, just get rid of the dang books. Be vicious. Like, I need that. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to pick the 5, try a chapter, come back and tell you guys if I liked it, if I didn't, if I'm going to keep it, yada, yada, yada. I'm not picking anything that's a first in a series because I'm not doing that to myself. Okay? We all know that I don't read series. I don't binge series. So that would be stupid. That would be stupid of me to do. We're trying to get rid of books here. So I figured I'd just do this kind of like in a reading vlog style. It's very informal. It's very, you can tell it's informal. I mean, look at me. Okay, like don't mind the breakouts. I was sick at the beginning of the week. And apparently that's what my skin likes to do. She likes to be like, you're sick. So let me prove it to the people. But yeah, so it's just going to be a chill reading vlog style. I will read the chapter, tell you guys what I think. And yeah, so let's just get started with, I guess, picking these books. Let's hope I pick some good ones. Or not good ones. Maybe I should not pick good ones because I want to be able to get rid of them. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. Don't mind my candle and my self-care book. It's hiding the Throne of Glass series. That shall not be chosen. No, I am not doing that to myself. Let's see. I feel like, ooh, okay. Maybe I just pick a book, like, from each shelf. Maybe that'll work. Oh my god, I'm brilliant. Okay. I'm not picking any books from those. Those are all series. We don't touch Twilight. That's nostalgia. Okay, to be fair, I've only read this book and half of this book, and I don't know. I might get back to those. Okay, so let's start here. Let me move the girl. Hello, kitty. Okay. So we have these. Okay. Those are series, so don't worry about those. You know what? Let's do House of... Wait, maybe I should do like a big book to give me more space if I don't like it. You know what? This one I have been on the fence about. So, okay, we'll pick this one. We'll pick Lore by Alexandra Bracken. So that'll be book 1. I think this is basically about the gods and goddesses. And for a time, they can come down and they're like hunted or something like that. So, sounds interesting. Next book we have is, it's half thrillers and then it goes into fantasies. So we've got Horrid Mary Shelley Club, and then we have these books, which I knew this was like everywhere, not like last year, but the year before. Tiffany D. Jackson books, and then we get into fantasy, which probably are a lot of like series as well, or at least start series. Okay, so we're not going to do any of those. I guess I could technically do Heartless. I think it's just one of those books. Dang it. You know what? Let's do... Which one have I had the most? Which one have I had the longest? Let's do Horrid. I think this is actually the Owl Crate edition, so it's like different than everything else, but yeah, let's try that one. Third shelf is all thrillers, or mysteries. So we cannot choose any of these. I have read that one. I haven't read the rest of those. I don't really want to start that. So like is a standalone. Those are together. Technically, these are all standalones. That's a whole series. These are standalones. And that is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So, which I have read the first book. Oh, she's getting old though. I just haven't read the other ones yet. Okay. So, sorry. So let's go with which one? You know what? Let's go with The Companion. I'm supposed to be a little spooky spook. I can't do this one-handed, so let's just try it. Let's just try and see how this goes. By Katie Alander. Okay, last shelf is YA. Oh, the lighting here sucks. I'm so sorry. This is contemporary. So we've got, what are those? It's like Love and Gelato, all those, which is a series. And then we've got Lady Jane's, which technically are standalone, so they're not really a series. Then we have all the Morgan Madsen books that I've never read, but I don't know why I keep them. Lovely War, definitely keeping, because it's one of my favorite books. I love it. That's technically a series or a duet. Turtles All the Way Down, which I wanted to read because I know it has representation of OCD. So, like, I wanted to read it and see if it was something that I could, like, give to clients or have them read, you know? And then we've got, oh, these are thrillers. I had no idea. Belle was keeping them. Okay, but you know what? I do want to read. Okay. I always put this on, like, before I started reading romances. I put this on my TBR. Don't mind the noise. It's fine. So this is Agnes at the End of the World, and this has to do with cults. She has to, like, leave her cult to find medicine for her brother because the cult doesn't believe in it. I think he's diabetic or something like that. So let's give that one a try. And that's only 4 books. I can't count. So I need a 5th one, right? Or should I just do 4? No, I said 5. Okay. So, you know what? We're going to do House of... We're going to do this one as well. House of Salt and Sorrows, which I think is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. Okay. So, we've got the 5 books. House of Salt and Sorrows. Agnes at the End of the World. The Companion. Horrid. And Lure. Okay. Let's get to it. Okay, first off, this is a great angle. Like it's the closest that I could do right here, close to my bed. But, so I had to read, like, the prologue and then the first chapter. So, basically, what I'm getting at from this book is that every 7 years, the gods and goddesses come down into mortal bodies. And it allows humans the chance to kill them. And then that human gets the power of the god that they kill. That's what I'm getting at. I think that was like the prologue. And then the first chapter is about Lure. So Lure is the main character in this. And she is fighting in like an underground, like boxing type thing. And she knows about all of this. She knows that like the 7 years are up and that like this cycle is going to be in New York City where she's from. And the first chapter ends with her going to do her second fight and she knows that it's a hunter. So that's pretty much all there really is. I don't know. I feel like... So like she's from the house of Perseus, which was the slayer of Medusa. So technically like that's why this is all like Medusa-y. I love mythology, but like I don't know if this is just over my head. Like I feel like this is over my head and it's YA. Like if there was like some smut in it, then maybe. Am I just a smutty smut mess now? Like I'm just a smut whore. That's what it is. So I don't know. I don't know about this one. Because like it didn't catch me. Like I didn't want to read on. Like I really don't care to read on. And like if I'm not caring, well, you know, am I going to read it? Probably not. I don't know. Okay. We'll make my final decision at the end. So the next book that I'm going to do is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I know this is more of a horror story. Like she goes back to her mom's home or something. I don't know. Is it haunted? We don't know. We're going to go find out. We're going to read the first chapter and see how it is. Hi guys. So it's a new day. It's actually the day later. I'm trying to remember. Today's Saturday. So I started this on Friday and I read, so you saw me read Lore and what I thought of it. I then read the first chapter of Horrid, which I was hoping that I wouldn't like. Okay, I'll tell you what I didn't like. The first chapter is 54 pages long. That's what I don't like about it. There is no reason that a chapter should be 54 pages long. And like the second chapter is just as long. No. I like short chapters because I feel accomplished when I read them. But we do have, I feel like it's moving towards a haunting, but I don't know if it is or not because the inside flap says, is this grief, mental illness, or something more horrid? So we have Jane and her mom are moving back to Maine to the house that her mom grew up in after the death of her father. And they get to the house and it's dilapidated. It hasn't been lived in a few years. And she's thinking that she's seen things. So like every night a light will come on in the room and then it goes off. And they don't have any electricity yet. So how's that light coming on? I don't know. I don't know. She went to school on her first day and they were saying that like the nickname for the house is Creep House, which is fantastic. We love to see a house that's got a nickname like that. So as much as I did not want to like this book, or at least the first chapter, I did. So now I'm going to have to continue reading it. And it's not like it's like a huge book. It's like 320 some pages. So that's not bad. But I didn't want to have, my objective is get books off the shelf. And I'm probably going to end up putting this one back on. And then I went to The Companion by Katie Allender. And so basically this book is about Margot. And Margot, in the prologue, she is in a car wreck with her family. And they all end up dying except for her. So she ends up going to this orphanage and she has terrible PTSD. She has nightmares. She screams. So that's why she hasn't been adopted yet, because she tried living with friends and family and no one could handle her. So she's back at the orphanage. And that's pretty much it. I think the chapter ends with like her caseworker coming in and I think she's about to say, hey, you're going to be adopted. I do know that she does get adopted because the inside synopsis says that she gets adopted by a prestigious family to live at the remote country estate. She is handpicked to be a companion to their silent, mysterious daughter, Agatha. Well, and that just sounds interesting to me. Like, I hate it because I love thrillers. Like, I just want to be like, get rid of it. But it could be good. So, like, this is a maybe. Terrible. This vlog's not going very well. I got rid of one book so far out of 3. So the next book that I'm going to read is, well, I'm not reading the whole thing. We're just reading the first chapter. Agnes at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams. And like I said, this is like cult vibes. She lives like in a cult and she needs to get medicine, I think, for her younger brother. And to do that, she has to leave. So we're going to see how it goes. But if you're wondering, like, why it's like a whole new day and it's almost the end of the day, because look, I'm an impulse buyer. And this morning I went to look at a car. I went to look at this car. Well, that car is now sitting in my backyard. Yeah, I got a car today. So yay for me. But like also it took away from me being able to read. So I got these 2 books left. I have Agnes at the End of the World and House of Salt and Sorrow. We're going to see how I like them. And we're just going to go from there. So far this reading vlog, I got rid of 1 book. But we're calling it a win. We're going to call it a win. So that was the first chapter. Well, it was a prologue in the first chapter of Agnes at the End of the World. So basically what I thought this book is about is what it's about. So we have Agnes, who basically lives in a cult. There is the leader, who is the prophet, and he pretty much tells them that the outside world is wrong, that outsiders will try to trick you, and all of that good stuff that you hear when it has to do with cults. However, her younger brother Ezekiel is sick with diabetes, and of course they don't believe in technology or medicine or anything like that. So I don't know how, but 2 years ago she met this nurse named Matilda, and every month they meet in the cemetery, and Matilda gives her insulin to give to her brother for a month to keep him alive. Matilda at the end of the chapter tells her, hey, I can't come next month, so I'm going to send my son Danny. And Agnes freaks out in her mind. She's like, I can't meet the boy. God will kill me. Surely I can't do that. So she's just kind of wondering what she's going to do now for the next month, before she has to meet that boy. So I don't know how old she is. In the prologue, she was like 12. I think she's older now. I know she is, but I just don't know how old. But then the synopsis here, it says, this is a breathtaking story of survival and faith, perfect for fans of The Handmaid's Tale and Wilder Girls, which I haven't read either of those, but I watched Handmaid's Tale and I really enjoyed it. So I don't know how that's going to fit into this, but so far it's okay. I don't know. I'm not pulled in yet, but it's interesting because I do like to read about cults and the religious aspect and things like that. So, is it a keeper? Probably. But I got one more book to see. Okay, here we are, the last book for this vlog, House of Salt and Sorrow. And I realized I picked a lot of thrillers. I picked all. No, I didn't. I didn't pick all. I can't count. But I do have a thing for thrillers, so this one is by Erin A. Craig, and I am pretty sure this is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and the only 12 Dancing Princesses I am fully aware of is the Barbie movie. I loved that movie growing up. I loved all the Barbie movies. I own them all, just don't ask. So this is the last one. I'm going to get into it. Well, that is definitely not Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses. This is more like the 8 Dancing Princesses. So this book starts off with, what's her name? Anna Lee at her sister's funeral. She has had 4 sisters die, and there's 8 of them left, and they all have died in weird, sus ways. people think it's suicide. Some people think that their family's cursed. So basically that's the chapter, and the chapter ends with her saying which one of us would be next, which I'm assuming is like how the story's going to go. I don't know if more sisters will die or not, but it's just, I don't know. Should I keep it? It says chilling and atmospheric, an eerie, lovely 12 Dancing Princesses retelling full of ghosts and gods and a fascinating waterfront world. Like, I always thought this was going to be like scary, but it doesn't. Maybe I just haven't gotten to that part yet. Gosh darn it, I don't know what to do. I need to think. Okay, so I'm back. So here we are. My final thoughts. Start with the first book that I read, which was Lore, and I'm not feeling this book. I feel like you need to really know your mythology to like enjoy this book, and it's just not for me. Plus, I like my mythology with a little bit of smut, and this ain't got it. This isn't. I can tell you, it's not gonna happen. If it's not on the first chapter, I don't want it. You know. So we are going to be getting rid of this one, which is nice because it was like a thicker book. So like props to me. But if you had smut, maybe, but you don't. So on to the next. The next book that I tried was Horrid by Katrina Leno, and gosh darn it, I need to know, like, what's going on with her mom. Like, there's something with the house. Is it haunted? Is it not? Are they just grieving the loss of her father and the husband? I don't know. But, like, there's roses. Okay, I didn't even tell you guys about the roses. Like, there's roses growing in the backyard, and it's, like, October. So that doesn't, for those of you who don't live on the East Coast, that don't compute. Okay, October in Maine, October on the East Coast, just it doesn't compute with roses. So like we got to figure out why there's roses. But I want to read this one, so I'm going to keep this one. Will I read it soon? I don't know. Like I told you guys, I have to the end of the year, so this is like spooky. I feel like this is a good fall vibe book. And then I went to The Companion. The first chapter was just whoa, but like the synopsis is what gets me. Like I want to find out about this Agatha girl. Like why doesn't she talk? I don't know, but like I need to know what is wrong with this family. So I'm just going to keep it for now because it also gives me spooky vibes. And I feel like it would be good at spooky time. We all know that I'm just going to probably end up reading romances. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but we're keeping it. Then was Agnes at the End of the World. And I am keeping this purely because of the cult vibes. I know it's probably not going to get too deep with it. It is YA, but you never know because I've read some YA that's really hard hitting. I've read some that's not. So I guess it just depends on the author. But like, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. And then the final one is House of Salt and Sorrows. This one is like iffy. Because, like, yes, 12 Dancing Princesses, Barbie was my jam. But am I going to enjoy reading it with a retelling and they're dying off one by one? I'm assuming. I don't know. Is it more fantastical? Is it, I'm a feeling it's more fantasy than it's like thriller or scary. So like, I feel like YA fantasy is just not my thing anymore. So like I could try another chapter, but if it doesn't like get me, then I can just like give it away. So unfortunately, I have 1 to give away and 4 to keep. However, that's okay because at least that's one that I'm actually getting rid of. But we still have 5 shelves. So this is only episode 1. This is only episode 1, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you want to see more. If you do, let me know down in the comments. I can make this like a weekly thing, or maybe something. I do weekly videos, so maybe not a weekly video, maybe like a monthly thing. We can do it like every month. I'll come back to my YA shelf, pick out some, see if I even want to read them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you're new, I would love to have you. If you've read any of these books, let me know down below. But if you don't want to leave a comment, but you want to leave something to let me know that you were here, leave me the octopus. I think there's an octopus emoji. because there was octopus in this book, because it's water. It's water. It all hits. It all hits. It fits. It works. My social media is linked down below, as always, my Goodreads and my Instagram, if you want to stay more up to date with what I'm currently reading, which are basically romances for the most part. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.